evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Weeknight with the Wonder Girls. I'm Mabel, and we are very happy to have Cheryl back in Singapore after her short vacation in South Korea.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cheryl, and happy to be back here at home in Singapore, although my soul is still in Korea.
Yes. I think, Cheryl, our Facebook Live topic tonight came at the right time. Because now with more and more travel restrictions being eased up, we're happy to see more and more buzz created for the travel industry. Don't you think so?
Yes, indeed. However, I carry this happiness with a little bit of mixed emotion because it's like, because of the VTL, it has opened up, and also especially also the rest of the world, they are also beginning to reopen the borders and everybody is traveling. And then this year, it seems like the Europe outdoor season is going to do a striving business, right? It seems that every booking that we have that
Yes.
comes in, it took us so long to confirm each and every one of them because all the villages hotels are fully booked within a very short period of time. Like for example, now, right, we just have rejected a booking to UK hiking, right? Not even able
Yes,
to
that's right.
accommodate a solo hiker, right? The village are already
Yeah, what a
so fully
pity.
booked. Yes, right from May, we are looking already very stressed inventory for April, May, June.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
this is
like we are
the
happy, but yeah.
yes. So this is really the situation right now. We have been going out telling a lot of people, please book early, please book early, please book early. It's not that we wanted to have your booking as early as possible. I mean, of course, that is, to be honest, we really hope to have your sales, but then it is
Mm.
also to avoid any disappointment, especially if you are looking into going into the outdoors to Europe.
Yeah,
And we
that's
also
right.
know soon in some of the very popular Asia destination, we are all going to experience the same kind of situation anywhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And it is a happy problem to have though. And on our side, we will endeavor to manage as best as we can. So if you have any bookings on that, we'll try our best to help you confirm to avoid any disappointment on our end. After all, for many of us here in Singapore, it's our first trip in almost 2 years or maybe even longer. Yeah. So, okay, without any further ado, let me go straight into my presentation. Cheryl will be taking a
Mm-hmm.
back seat and will be answering any questions you have along the way. So feel free to ask
Mm-hmm.
away. Along the way, any questions you have, just raise it up. Towards the end of the presentation, we'll address them all at one go. Okay, see you
Okay,
later, Cheryl.
good. See you.
Okay, so here we go. Tonight's topic that we have is for the Great Outdoors Await, our cycling edition. So before I proceed any further, if you like to switch off the auto caption, you may follow the instructions as per the screen that you see above. So tonight, what we will be sharing about is all about experience self-guided with Travel Wonder. So what is this about? It's actually, self-guided is not a new concept. It has been around for a long time, but here in Asia, it's relatively new. And we actually reinvent this self-guided to have you experience it with us because we understand it's a new concept here in Asia. Many of us may not be so comfortable doing self-guided on our own. So that's why we coined up with this term where you actually embark on a self-guided trip with a Travel Wonder trip facilitator. But at the same time, while you're when you're cycling, you can cycle at your own speed. You do not need to follow the group throughout the entire journey. You can do it however fast or however slow you like to. You can also explore as and when you desire. So along the way, if you decided to drop off somewhere to do a detour to explore certain cities on your own, you can always do that. And then after that, rejoin back the group. You have the freedom to break off at any part. And the best thing is accommodation, luggage transfer, bicycle rental, all the logistics are all included already for you. So all the hassle, the nitty-gritty items, you need not worry about it. Just go there, enjoy the ride, and make sure you turn up from one hotel to the other. That's it. And when you reach the hotel, all your luggages will be transported there for you. You can just check in at comfort, rest, and prepare for your ride the next day. So what's ahead for 2022? We'd just like to share these 4 trips that we have planned out. It's the Lake Constance and Rhine Falls ride in Switzerland, the Gastronomic Heart of Italy ride, our Southern Highlands cycling ride in Australia, as well as our Great Victorian Rail Trail ride. Why did we shortlist these 4 trips for 2022? It's very simply because they have one of the easiest entry requirement for traveling into the country. So let's say for Switzerland, it's open for vaccinated travelers and COVID-19 recovered travelers. There is no need to do any pre-departure testing and don't need to do any self-quarantine upon arrival. And also for Italy, it's open for those with a vaccination certificate or a negative PCR ART test, or if you have a certificate of recovery. All you need to do is to fill out a digital passenger locator form and you're good to go as well. Next is the entry requirement for Australia. So for Australia, there's different states have different requirements. The requirements for New South Wales and the state of Victoria is actually pretty similar. It's open for vaccinated travelers. And all you need to do is to do a PCR test within 3 days of departure or supervised ART test within 24 hours before your flight departure. Importantly is you have to obtain a negative result. Then once you're there, before traveling, complete a digital passenger declaration form. And when you arrive Australia, all you need to do is to self-isolate at the accommodation, do your own self-administered ART, and once you get a negative result, you're also good to go to explore. So the first trip I would like to share is our Lake Constance and Rhine Falls ride. This is a 7 days self-guided program. It's suitable for beginner plus, grader 2 plus. So where does this trip cover? It actually covers a portion of the Eurovelo 15. And what is this Eurovelo 15? This Eurovelo 15 is actually a cycling route that runs along one of the longest rivers here in Europe. It travels across 4 countries, namely Switzerland, Germany, France, and the Netherlands. In total, it's 1,500 kilometers, covering 9 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So for this Lake Constance and Rhine Falls ride, we actually be covering a portion of the Swiss route of this Eurovelo 15. And it's the perfect route for beginners because on this route, you'll be using mainly cycling lanes or cycling on roads with low traffic. So it offers a first taste of long-distance cycling for first-timers overseas, or if you simply want to have a relaxing ride, this is the perfect trip to go for. So in total for this trip, there will be 7 days, but we have 5 days of cycling, covering a total of 250 kilometers. The starting point is at Rosach. How to get to there is very simple. You just take a train from either Zurich Airport or Zurich City Center. From the airport, it's about 1 hour and 10 minutes, right? And from the city, it's about 1 hour and a half. So once you arrive there, you check into the hotel. And I would like to share with you the route profile of this trip. As you can see here, it's as flat as you can get for cycling in Europe. So along the way, it's very suitable. That's why we say it's a perfect trip for first-timers. You know, if you don't want something too strenuous, or even if you're an experienced cyclist and just want to go there and enjoy the scenery, this is the perfect trip to go for. So what are the sites covered on this trip? Of course, as what the name suggests, Lake Constance is definitely part of it. This is the 3rd largest lake in Europe and it's located at the south of Germany at the border with Switzerland and Austria. So here you will see gentle verdant valleys and you also get to see the upper lake and lower lake. We will also be visiting Stein Mri. This is known for its old town dating back from the Middle Ages. So here you will see wonderful half-timbered houses and painted facades. and it's located at the point where Lake Constance will narrow down to become the River Rhine again. Along the way, as we cycle, we also stop by Schaffhausen. This is near the Rhine Falls. This Schaffhausen has more than 1,000-year-old history, where you get to see houses with richly painted facade. And just a short distance away is actually the Rhine Falls. It's Europe's most powerful and impressive waterfall, standing at 150 meters wide and 23 meters tall. So every year it attracts hundreds and thousands of visitors to come here to view this beautiful waterfall. Another city you will go is Koblenz. It's a small city, but it has plenty to offer. So what you see here is picture-perfect squares and beautiful churches, as well as an 11th century old fortress that reveals spectacular views of the city and the river. We'll go to Rheinfelden. This is a historic town center with a typical white market street, and you see many delightful side lanes inviting you to go explore and wander on your own. The trip will end off in Basel. Basel is famous for its museum and houses Swiss oldest university, the University of Basel, that was founded in year 1460, and is also the home of the world tennis star Roger Federer. This is his birthplace. So just to recap again, what are some of the highlights you'll see along the way? We'll explore Lake Constance ancient cultural landscape, visit richly decorated and historic towns. You see Europe's mightiest waterfall, the Rhine Falls, and of course the mainly flat terrain, which is suitable for beginners or for anyone looking for a leisure ride. So our experience, self-guided with Travel One trip, is scheduled for 17 May to 23rd May. I have to say this is very limited. Okay, the last time we booked, we're already running out of room. So if you're interested, please book as early as possible. If you cannot join us on this date, not to worry. This trip actually runs daily from March to October. So you can anytime invite your group of friends or maybe family or even couple. You can go on this trip. Even if it's yourself, you want to do solo riding, you can also go on this trip by yourself. The price will start from 1,518 per person. This is for the departure on 17 May. So the next trip I would like to share with everyone is our Gastronomic Heart of Italy ride. This is 8 days and it's graded 2, also suitable for beginners. And as what the name suggests, this ride will bring you through some of the best gastronomic towns in Tuscany, Italy. Okay, so for the 8 days, we have 6 days of cycling covering 322 kilometers in total. The starting point is from Bologna. So from Bologna, you can actually take a domestic flight from Rome, which is about 1.5 hours away, or you can take a train, which is about 3 hours. So definitely when you're there in Bologna, you will think of Bologna ham. But do you know that it's actually the home of artisanal mortadella? So if you're going to tell people that, oh, I know Bologna ham, they're going to be so offended. So what's the difference between the ham as well and this artisanal mortadella is that you can see the fat bits on the ham in the picture. Yeah, that is the highlight of this dish, the mortadella. You'll be able to see the bits of real fats embedded inside the meat. So one of the highlights that will go is also to the fortress town of Bazzano. And we'll make a stop at Modena. So Modena is the home of Ferrari. Okay, so in this town, you will see at the center there is Grandina Tower, which is the symbol of Modena, that's located beside the cathedral. Something interesting is this tower held an important civic function where they sound the bells back in the days to make the rhythm of the city live, and also to announce the opening of the city gates and to rally citizens in any situation of alarm or danger. Here, we actually visit a local covered market where you'll find some of the best selections of Lambrusco wine, Amarati, cookies, truffles, cheese, prosciutto, as well as balsamic vinegar. So this is how the local covered market looks like. So as you walk in, you'll be enticed by all the local delicacies, and you can feel free to shop and buy as many as you want. Just make sure you bring an extra bag along to carry. One other place we'll visit on this route is the Castelvetro, which is a fortified historical center and the production area of balsamic vinegar. Parma. Well, we all know Parma for one of its very famous dish, and that is the Parma ham and cheese. So at this area, you can enjoy freshly made Parma ham and cheese at the local restaurants as you dine there. We'll also be visiting Torichiro Castle. This castle is constructed between 1448 and 1460 and is devised as an instrument of defense and a distinguished home for the count and his lover. So this area is famous for cured prosciutto and local salami. So at this area, what you can do is you can enjoy maybe a pizza, prosciutto. Yeah, in case you're wondering what is prosciutto, that is actually the meat actually comes from the hind legs of pigs. So just to highlight again, what are the trip highlights? We actually be visiting Bologna, which is a UNESCO World Heritage site, and then we'll have the rail to trail bike path at Bolzano, which is another World Heritage site. We'll visit Modena's covered street market, taste the balsamic vinegar, stay in an agri-turismo, which is local farmhouse. We'll visit the castle ruins, a city of Reggio Emilia, get to taste delicious Parma cured ham and Parmesan cheese, and the Torichiro Castle. So this trip, if you're interested to go with us, we have a departure on the 18th of September to the 25th of September. Or if you like to do it on yourself with your own group of friends, it's departing every Sunday from March all the way until October. And the trip price is at 1,376 for land-only twin share. Next, I'll jump on to Australia. So Australia, we have the Southern Highlights cycling, 6 days, and this includes e-bike. So this cycling grade is 2+, beginner plus, so it's very suitable. There are some terrain up and down, which I'm going to show you later on, but with the e-bike, it's highly manageable. Before I go any further, I'd just like to share a quick video with everyone of this beautiful area.
What a beautiful day it is with someone like you. What a beautiful way to spend this afternoon. If you only knew what I'm feeling, it's true, so true. You're stealing my heart again, don't you know? So sing la 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 la, la 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 la. Are you gonna stay the night? I got room for two. We can hide away tonight. Yeah, just me
Okay, to be honest, in case you're wondering where the Southern Highlands is, hang on. Okay, in case you're wondering where the Southern Highlands is, it's actually located in New South Wales. Before watching this video, all I know about New South Wales is only just Sydney and the Blue Mountains. So by looking at the video, that's when I realized that, oh, actually outskirts in the country area, you get to see many, many unique charm, unique charming little towns. Yeah. So okay, so for this trip, it's 7 days. We have 5 days of, sorry, 6 days. We have 5 days of cycling covering 173 kilometers. The starting point is at Bundanun. And how to get there? From Sydney, you just take a train down from Sydney Central Station. It's about 3 hours journey. So this is the route profile that I was sharing earlier on. You will see plenty of small climbs here and there. However, because we are actually using the e-bike, it's nothing too difficult or too technical that you overcome. So just now the video is about this small little town, the historic village of Berima. So when you're at this village, there's actually plenty of things that you can do, such as a self-guided heritage walk from the Berima Courthouse, which is one of Australia's oldest licensed pub, the Surveyor General Inn. Or you can also go on a self-guided Berima River walk on the land to see the Gundaguna people. So there are plenty of signposts along the way sharing with you all the local history as you go on your own self-guided walk. Another place where you can stop by is the Artemis Vineyard Cellar. So this is a definite must for wine lovers. You can make a stop here for wine tasting. And it's also highly recommended for you to have your lunch there because they have a very nice outdoor alfresco dining area. But pre-reservations is highly recommended. Along the route, we also drop by Balro Lookout. So from here, you can see an expansive view of the entire Highlands looking south. So in Balro, you actually get to cycle through very beautiful landscape and visit the wonderful town that is known for its gentrified country experience. So as you can see here, it's very nice leisure ride along the Southern Highlands. You will drop by Robertson Town. So what is Robertson Town known for? It's known for its famous pie shop, cheese shop, and also the location of the movie Babe. You know, Babe the piglet? Yes. So this is where they filmed the movie. And you see the very unique charm to this town, which is perched above a Macquarie Pass. And you will get to see the whole Illawarra escarpment. We'll head on to Fitzroy Falls. So there is a number of waterfalls that you'll be going on for this trip. So when you're at the falls, you can actually embark on a number of leisure walks around the area to capture images, videos, just to take in the scenery. And at this Fitzroy Falls, there's even a cafe at the visitor center. So it's a great place for you to do a picnic. So some of the trip highlights to recap is on this Southern Highlands ride is that you get to discover the beautiful countryside of Southern Highlands by e-bike, wine tasting at cool climate vineyards, and you get to see the natural sights of Fitzroy Falls, Belmore Falls, and Echo Point, which is all located in Moreton National Park. Other than all these sceneries, you also get to sample local cheese, baked goods, berries, pies, and all the small little quaint town that you visit. So this trip, we have it scheduled for 17 October to 23rd October. Or if you like to do it on your own, there is daily departures, and we recommend departing on every Monday. So this trip is 1,460 per person. This is for land-only twin share. So the next Australian state I'm going to move on to is the state of Victoria. So here, this is our 4 days Great Victorian Rail Trail ride. This is suitable for beginner plus to intermediate cyclists. I'm going to share a short video or just to show you a snippet of what this area has to offer.
The My Country Rail Trail is one of the longest rail trails in Australia and is the longest in Victoria. Stretching 134 kilometres, the shared bicycle, walking and bridle trail connects towns and communities through the Mitchell, Murrindindi and Mansfield Shires. The trail promises many diverse and exciting adventures as it winds through over 15 towns, including Tullarook, Trawul, Kerrisdale, Yea, Yark and Alexandra.
I reckon if you had to showcase Australia, it's great to be out there with the wildlife. The next 20k is the real Goulburn Valley, best of Australia that you could get. Echidnas, kangaroos, wallabies riding along the track, and there they are. You really find your own space, get some great tranquility there, whatever, listening to the birds. I love it. Jump on the train. There's 20 trains a day leave Melbourne. Bring your bike, jump off at Tullarook, jump on the track, and let's ride it. It's great. There's 135 k's of solitude. Beautiful. You're in your own space out here on the rail trail. It really is great. Every ride's different, but there's plenty to see along the way. I love it.
The undulating nature of the trail allows it to be accessible and enjoyable for all ages and abilities. Head off on a day trip or plan your trip overnight, exploring the towns and communities and what they have to offer.
So let's see what this Great Victorian Rail Trail has to offer. So over the next 4 days of riding, you will be covering 155 kilometers. The starting point is from Mansfield. So from Mansfield, you can easily travel there from Melbourne by bus, which is about, the journey time takes 3 hours, 20 minutes. The trip will end off in Tullarook. So from Tullarook to Melbourne, it's even shorter journey it's about 1.5 hours to 2 hours journey. So this is the route profile on what to expect over there. As you can see, there's a couple of undulating portions here and there. That is why this trip is rated 2+ to 3 for intermediate plus, for beginner plus to intermediate. So in Mansfield, this city has several interesting historical buildings dating back to its time. It was a stock route camp and a gold mining town. So as we cycle, we will come by Lake Eldon. So Lake Eldon, what you see here in front of you, there is this impressive long 385 meters bridge that stretches across Lake Eldon. So you'll be cycling across the bridge, which is one of the highlights of this trip. And as you cycle, you get to see lots of beautiful countryside scenery where there's hardly anybody around you, so you can really immerse yourself in the experience. You also cycle past rocky outcrops, livestock, and open farmlands. So here at Merton Gap, what you do, we will actually pass by Merton service station where you can get a cold drink or ice cream first to prepare you for the gentle ascent up to Merton Gap. So once you're at the top, you get to enjoy spectacular views of the surrounding. Another highlight is Yea. Yea is rich in pastoral and dairying with the Yea River flowing around the town. So as you cycle there, you can take a nice long gentle descent down to Molesworth. And at Molesworth, that's where you'll come to Chevote Tunnel. This is 301 meters, which is the longest rail tunnel in Victoria. So this tunnel is made from 675,000 bricks, handcrafted on site and with the local clay in the year 1889. So it's really full of history. So just a recap on the trip, the highlights, you get to enjoy hassle-free cycling on dedicated cycle path, which is the Great Victorian Rail Trail. Appreciate views of mountains, lakes, and rivers along the way. Sample excellent local food and wines of North Victoria. Visit all the historical towns and villages. and also cycle through Victoria's longest rail trail tunnel, which is the Chevote Tunnel. This trip, if you're interested to experience it with us, we have it departure scheduled on 26th October to the 29th of October. Or if you like to do it on your own, it's available for booking for daily departures. So this trip is 1,418 per person. This is for twin share land only. So next up, I'm just going to share some of the VTL countries that we have that is open up between Singapore. It's accurate as of today. So as you can see, the list is increasing as the time goes by. But I would like to share with you some of the trips that we have for schedule around. Okay, so for all these VTL trips, countries, right? When you return back, you can actually book VTL flights from there. So that is to avoid the stay-home notice upon arrival in Singapore. But as you know, we are slowly easing up rules, so you never know how things might pan out again in the next couple of months. So this is just a general guideline. We always have to refer to the latest safe travel measures via the Safe Travel website. All right, so the first place I'd like to share is Cycling Australia. So this list is not limited to just here. We have plenty more on our website, but I'm just going to pick out a few itineraries to share with you. So we have like the Brisbane Valley Rail Trail, right, which is 4 days. It's graded 3. This is cycling in the remnants of the Brisbane Valley Rail line, which is constructed over 29 years from 1884 to 1913. So it's 161 kilometers, which makes it the longest rail trail in Australia. Yeah, and all these trips are short, 4 days, so you can easily add on your pre-cycling or post-cycling extension on your own in the towns. Okay, so next we have the Muji Explorer ride. This is 5 days, graded 2+, which is suitable for beginners class. It's highly recommended for foodies because you can do lots of wine tasting, cheese sampling, cafe hopping, as well as visit all the renowned restaurants along the way. Next up, we have the Murray to the Mountains Downhill Edition ride. This is 5 days. It's suitable for beginner class. So this is for scenery lovers because this ride covers the old Wangaratta to Bright railway, and the scenery you get to see there is perfect. I'll be showing you a few photos later on because this area is very well known for its autumn colors. And one thing nice about this particular trip is that you're mainly doing the cycling downhill, so you do away with all the difficult uphill rides. Okay, the last cycling trip that I'd like to share for Australia here is the Tasmanian East Coast ride. This is 6 days. It's suitable for intermediate to intermediate plus cyclists. Here you get to enjoy spectacular coastal scenery from fishing village of St. Helens to the Coast Bay and Freycinet National Park. So earlier on, I talked about cycling in Brights. So cycling in Brights, you'll come across many beautiful large scenery, great alpine road, so you get to cycle on dedicated cycling path as well. So this is how it looks like in autumn season. So in autumn season, which runs from March to May, you get to see beautiful autumn colors. There is a mellow glow cast a mellow glow over bright. So you get to see nasty red to deep urban, warm yellow, and burnt orange colors. If you cycle during the summer season, you get to see beautiful flowers. So this is for the months of January, February, and March. So the next place I would like to share is cycling in France. So cycling in France, I'd like to share 2 itineraries that we have with you. One is cycling along the castles of River Loire. It's 8 days and graded 2+, which is suitable for beginner plus cyclists. So from here, you actually can cycle to the castles of Loire on mostly flat cycling route with good signposts. And you also cycle in vineyards too with slightly hillier terrain. So the next one is our Provence bike and boat tour, which is 8 days, also suitable for beginner class. So what we mean by bike and boat is that at night you'll be actually resting in the on the boat itself. So in the morning, when your boat arrives at the new point of dock, that's where you collect your bike and you go around to explore the villages of Provence that is brimming with tasty streets, art studios, and cultural relics. So here you cycle through revolving landscape from Camargue, where you can see wild horses roaming, to picturesque provincial villages. Next destination I'd like to share is cycling in Germany. So Germany, we have plenty of itineraries there, but I just pick up 3 to share with everybody here. We have a river Weser ride, which is 8 days. It's very suitable for beginner plus to intermediate cyclists. It's actually ideal for families as well. So if you have children, you like to bring them on an experiential cycling holiday, you may want to consider this. So you will ride past numerous forest areas and quaint villages, and you get to meet some fairy tale characters like the Lion Baron, Munchausen in Bordenwood, and the Piper town of Hamelin. So if you always read fairy tales to your children, they might find these places familiar as you explore these areas. The next ride I would like to share is the Impressions of Lake Chensey ride, 7 days. So this is a graded intermediate plus. It offers everything a cyclist's heart desires. Okay, you ride on idyllic routes, over cycle paths and service roads, and also experience pure nature and fantastic views of the Alps. The last ride I would like to share with everyone is the River Moselle ride, 8 days. This is very suitable for beginners and perfect for families. So here you ride along fertile vineyards, elegant half-timber houses, and mighty castles. You get to also, there are plenty of outdoor pools, playgrounds, and museums, so it's perfect if you like to bring your children along. The next destination I would like to share is cycling in Italy. So cycling in Italy, the first ride I'd like to share is our breathtaking Umbria ride, 7 days, graded beginner plus. So every stage, every part of your ride leads through lush olive groves, past beautiful expanses of water and medieval Italian towns. The next ride is our ride through unspoiled Tuscany, 8 days. This one, for this ride, you will visit Berima. So Berima is actually one of the most beautiful spots you can find in southern Tuscany. There are vineyards there that it looks like it comes straight from the picture books. The last ride I'd like to share for Italy is our Italy's Eternal City ride. So for this ride, it's 8 days, suitable for beginner plus, and we'll be riding from Florence to Rome, past historical scenes like Ponte Vecchio in Florence to the Trevi Fountain in Rome. The next destination I'd like to share is cycling in the Netherlands. So the first trip is cycling in dreamy Izmir, 8 days, very suitable for beginner cyclists because for this trip, you'll ride through national parks where you get to see rare animals and plants, picturesque fishing villages and cities. The next one is our sail and bike in Dutch Lake Izmir. So same thing for this sail and bike. We will ride in the daytime, and at night we will actually sail to the next city, and then the next morning when you wake up, you are in a new area and you can go around exploring on your bicycle. So as you cycle, you get to see historical harbors, trading towns, century-old plotters, and beautiful inland villages on this ride. The last ride I'd like to share for Dutch is our classic Holland Ride. So this ride is 7 days, suitable for beginners, graded 2. It combines several all-time favorite cities like Amsterdam, Haarlem, Gouda, just to mention a few. And all these places are brimming with typical Dutch character. So you get to sample exquisite chocolates, waffles, beers in atmospheric cafes and bars as well on this ride. Next, I'd like to share about cycling in Spain. So cycling in Spain, we have plenty of itineraries there. I'm just going to share 3. So the first one I'm going to share is cycling in Andalusia. This is 8 days, graded 4, slightly tougher. So for anyone looking for a challenging ride, we may want to consider this. So for this ride, we'll follow the footsteps of Pablo Picasso to his hometown in Malaga. So on this trip, you can feel how harmoniously the European and Arabic culture merge when you explore Andalusia. Next up is cycling in Catalonia, Spain, 8 days. This is suitable for beginner plus cyclists. Catalonia is known for its colorful paths, so you get to see stunning coastline, medieval villages, and Mediterranean beaches. The last ride I'd like to share for Spain is cycling in charming Maroka Island, 8 days. So here you get to experience summer, sand, and sun. So you get to see charming fishing villages, pristine bays and coasts, get to taste the delicious paellas, the fine wine, and the Spanish seafood. Next up is cycling in Switzerland. So Switzerland, we have an extensive list of rides. This is just a small portion of what we have to offer. So all these cycling trips, they showcase the best of what each region of Switzerland has to offer. Whether it's idyllic landscapes, medieval city centers, to impressive mountain panoramas and beautiful lakes. You get to find them in all of these trips. So there's the RA3 Lake Country Ride. We have the Verdenhen and Rhine Valley on wheels, lakes and hills of Lucerne, as well as the sweetest bicycle tour of Switzerland, just to name the few. We also have cycling in United Kingdom. So the two that I like to share is Cotswold by bike, 8 days. So this is a gentle introduction to cycling in the English countryside through one of the most beautiful historical parts of England. Next is also our Scotland bike and boat. This is visiting Scotland's inner hybrids for their spectacular landscape that is still largely untouched by mass tourism. So same thing for the bike and boat. You get to, in the daytime, you explore the area on your bicycle, and night rest in the comfort of your boat. Next, we have cycling in South Korea. So cycling in South Korea, we have our Jeju Round Island self-guided ride. This is 5 days with 4 days of cycling, and very suitable for beginner plus. So here you actually, Jeju is known as the Hawaii of South Korea. So it's very known for its volcanic landscape and emerald color ocean. So what you'll be cycling on is actually the fantastic Jeju Bike Trail, which is around the entire island of Jeju, covering about 230 kilometers. So you stretch it over 4 days. Okay, so what are some of the entry requirements for, once we go on all these holidays, coming back to Singapore? We are very happy to share that, the procedures have really streamlined a lot and make it really easier for us. So, okay, if you are taking the VTL flights back to Singapore, all you need to do is 2 days prior to your flight, take a PCR or ART test administered by a trained professional and obtain a negative result. Then submit your SG arrival card health declaration form 3 days before returning to Singapore. And once you return back to Singapore, all you need to do is just to do a self-administered ART test using any of the authorized ART kit by our Singapore government within 24 hours of arrival in Singapore, and just submit your results online. That's it. And you're good to go about your daily activities once you're back in Singapore. So I'd just like to share a preview of what we have planned for year 2023, our Wonder Collection. This list, we are still adding more and more and more. So this is just a short snippet for the moment. So for the month of March, we have in plans for cycling in Thailand and Malaysia. April, we have planned to do a walk in picturesque Tuscany. And after that, it will be a classic Holland Ride because it's tulip season. Definitely, when we go during Holland during this period, we must go and see the beautiful tulips on display. And in May, we will be doing the Australian Murray downhill ride because that's where we get the autumn season, where you get to see all the beautiful autumn colors that I shared earlier on. In September, we have planned ahead for Bavaria hike as well as cycling in Catalonia, Spain. So this list is not finalized because we're adding more along the way according to whichever destination that is starting to open up, and we find that it's suitable for everybody to go and have fun together. So I'd like to share a very exciting offer with everyone here. We have this time limit offer where you get to save $50 off all cycling trips if you book by 31st March 2022. 31st March this year. So what you need to do is very simple. Just WhatsApp us, code cycling50, that is the promo code. Give us your name, your email address, what is the tour that you like to go to. You can go to our website to see any of the trips that we have there, and also let us know when you like to depart. So what we like to reiterate is to book early as possible so that you avoid any disappointment. Yeah, so with this, you can just quickly choke your discount. Just WhatsApp us first. You can, if you have not decided yet, it's also fine. Just WhatsApp us, drop us your details, let us know you're considering, and then by 31st March, just let us know which trip you decided to go for. All right, so with that, I ended my sharing session. It's time for some Q&A, and I shall bring Cheryl back up with me. Hi, Cheryl.
Hello, hi. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. You whet my appetite again.
I see there's a lot of questions and queries that is coming in from our audience.
Yes, we have a number of questions and also a few comments. Let's look at the first question.
Okay.
Here we have from Angeline. Right.
All right.
Is there an SOS number to call, or do we just have to call the local police, especially when we get lost?
Okay, so on all these self-guided trips, right, there is an emergency number contact that will be given to everyone. So this number you can access and call at any time if you encounter any issues. If let's say you have difficulty reaching out to them, we are also here to provide you assistance. So you can always drop us a WhatsApp, give us a call, if you really need emergency help. But there is a SOS number for sure that is given to everyone, so that you do not need to be afraid. You are cycling on your own, but you are not alone. Because anytime you need assistance, there is a number that you can call. There is someone that you can reach throughout the trip.
Did we mention that in not only the hard copy map they will be given, they will also be given the digital routes that works just like a GPS that they can use?
Yes, that's right. Thank you for reminding me that. Yeah. So on all these self-guided trips, definitely we will give you all the data, the GPS, the e-version, which is through the GPS app. Sometimes it's through, you can open through Google Map and then port it over. Sometimes they have their dedicated map that you open up, and then there's all the routing day-to-day, what you need to do. Then we also, if you prefer old school, there's the physical map where you can actually, map out yourself which day to which day, what route you are supposed to take. So anytime, even if, let's say your handphone battery died on you while you're cycling halfway, you have the physical map to refer to as well.
Yes, and also not only that, you will also be given a very, very detailed trip information where we will illustrate like your day-to-day, which route you are going to take, what are some of the key landmarks that you have to take note of, making right turn, left turn. So it's quite unlikely to get lost with 3 different pillars of support providing for the cyclists. Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. And then Adeline here says that she loves nice and flat. I think she's referring to the Lake Constance ride. So I'm asking her, is she looking for pancake flat?
I think it's as flat as you can get. Pancake, sometimes you have bumps here and there. The route that I showed earlier is flatter than a pancake.
Yeah. And then Thomas has went to Lake Constance before, and he says it is a very nice place to cycle. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it is a very good itinerary for beginners who are heading overseas for their first ride.
That's right.
Okay, and then here I have a questions with regards to all the
Mm.
Australian rides that just now you mentioned. Are all these
Yes.
cycling tours all year round departures?
Okay, not all. Like the two rides that I shared in detail, which is the Southern Highlands cycling as well as the Great Victorian Rail Trail ride, that is all year round cycling. From January all the way until December, you can do it, and you get to see different sceneries depending on the season you go. For the other areas like the Tasmanian ride, that there is a period which is from March to April, and then after that we have from October. It depends. Like daily departure is from March to April. Then we have Monday to Saturday departure from October to April. And like the one that I shared, the Murray to the mountains downhill ride. So that is daily departure from March to May, and then September to December. So there are some rides that is only at specific periods, seasons. And then there are those that are also for daily departure. I mean year round, all year round.
Okay, thank you. Adeline asks, what does grade 3 or 3 plus means exactly?
Okay, 3 or 3 plus, 3 actually is we term it as intermediate. Okay, so intermediate grading rides, what we meant is if it's off-road, it can sometimes be narrow and they include hill climbs and drop-offs. So the surface is mostly firm, but may also include some muddy or loose sections. Then if we are talking about on-road, sometimes there might be moderate traffic level and also include hill climbs and possible gravel sections. So it is suitable for regular experienced cyclists with a good level of fitness and over the age of 12. Yeah, so this is what we meant by intermediate to intermediate plus category grading.
And I also like to add that most of the itinerary, I would say that 90% of all these itineraries, like actually you can upgrade to an e-bike. So once you get an e-bike,
that's right.
a lot of all these grading, right, will also downgrade. So like an intermediate grade trips, right, will become a beginner trip if you go on an e-bike.
Yeah.
So this is something
right,
you can really consider. You can really consider. Okay. Add on to Adeline's question, will cycling during summer in Australia be too hot or not?
Will it be too hot? Actually, it really depends because how hot is considered too hot, to be honest, you know. Definitely, we know some parts in Australia, the weather can be really unbearable, but most of the trips that, we offer year-round departures, it means even during summer, the weather itself is pretty manageable. But if it really, it happens to have a heat wave during that period, then for sure we will encourage you to do multiple rest stops, bring enough water, just to hydrate yourself, constantly hydrate yourself during the route. Yeah. But some of the summertime during Australia is actually like the best time to go because you get to see many beautiful flowers, a totally different type of scenery that you won't get to see when you go during other seasons. So it's really up to individual whether they can tahan the hotness or not of the summer there.
Yes. And also, maybe can you remind me again? I always cannot really recall the period of time. When is the best time to see autumn colors in bright in Victoria?
In Victoria, that would be end April, early May.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
I
is like
remember
the best
it's only
time.
a very short period of time.
Very short period. That's right. You get to see the turning of colors, but the most vibrant autumn colors is only that very short period, which is the tail end of April to before the mid of May. Yeah, that is the period to go.
Okay. Let me see. Okay. Adeline commented that riding in Tuscany really sounds nice, and I think so. Although I have seen Tuscany very briefly on a normal general sightseeing tour, and it has already blown me away. So I can imagine if you are on a bicycle and riding through the whole Tuscany region, I think that is another riding trip of a lifetime.
Yeah.
Yes. And then Angelique commented, Sweetest bicycle tour, is it chocolates all the way?
Actually, she's partly correct because as part of this itinerary, you actually visit the chocolate fray in chocolate fray, and that's where you get to under expert supervision that to decorate 2 bars of chocolate, and they are yours to enjoy. Yeah, so hence the name, the sweetest bicycle tour of Switzerland, because of this experience.
Yeah. Sunny has a questions here. He asked if it's possible if he bring his own bike.
Yes, you can bring your own bike. Also depending on what bikes you have and what is the terrain and what is the trip you're going on. So before you decide, before you book, let us know what is your bicycle, what is the trip you're going to go on. Then we can advise you whether is it suitable for you to bring your own bike or not. Yeah, and for those trips, if let's say it's a bike and boat program, so both those bike and boat trips, right, we also have to check whether the boat itself, the vessel, whether can they accommodate your bicycle. Yeah, but most of the time if you like to bring your own bicycle, it's usually not a big problem. It's just that you have to bring along all your spare parts as well, just in case along the way you encounter any difficult technical issues. That's where you have to bring all your spare parts and then handle the situation. You must know how to handle your bike parts on the road. Yeah.
Yes, bringing bike on self-guided trips or any of the guided trip is not an issue, but we will usually ask you what type of bikes you are going to bring along and whether does it suitable for the terrains, because some of the cycling routes are not 100% throughout on tarmac, so you may also have hard gravel, especially when you're in the countryside. So we want to make sure that your bike that you're going to bring along will be suitable for the terrain so that you have an enjoyable time throughout the holiday.
Yes.
Yeah, here we have a number of supporters for Jeju as well as Taiwan. So now our next bet is waiting for Taiwan to reopen the border.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, Colleen here has a questions or some questions here. Is she says that she is new to self-guided tours, so she wants to know how does it work. So maybe you can briefly share with us again. And then also she asked that is it means that she can choose her preferred travel date within the availability, and if there is a minimum pax to go, what if she's the only one for a certain departure date?
Okay, great. So I will just reply as per the questions asked. Okay, so self-guided tours, basically, some tours there is daily departures. Some tours we have like maybe every Sunday departure or every Monday departure. Okay, so let's say for example it's a daily departure self-guided cycling trip. You can actually choose the date that you prefer. You can only travel on 1st May. Then let us know. We will book the trip according to your preferred date, 1st May. Yes, there is no minimum pax to go. Most of the time, just one to go will do. Yes, but if you are traveling alone, there might be a solo supplement and a single room supplement as well. So it is best also if you can maybe find a partner to go with you. So at least the trip cost is also shared among both persons. And yeah, so on these self-guided tours, we actually include the accommodation booking for you. The bicycle rental is also provided. We will give you a very detailed route map of the day-to-day plans of where you're supposed to cycle from point A to point B, how you're supposed to go. There will be an e-map as well as a physical map. There will be a 24 hours emergency contact number for you as well, if in case you need any SOS along the way. Yeah, so as you cycle, you can feel free to drop by any small towns that you fancy. You don't need to follow a tight schedule. You just need to make sure that, every day you get back to your accommodation before it gets too dark. Because ultimately it's still a new place. You don't want to be up there for too long. But if you start off in the early morning, most of the time by late afternoon, you have reached your next accommodation. Yeah, and along the way, you are actually cycling at a very comfortable speed. You can do plenty of rest stops. You can dine anywhere you like to for your lunch. There is no restriction that you have to follow a group. Yeah, so there is the flexibility in there when you go on a self-guided tour.
Mm.
Yep.
Right.
So even if, let's say, for that departure date, you're the only one going, no problem at all. Yeah, as long as we can confirm the accommodation for you, you're good to go.
Yes. Now our main concern is that we are not able to get accommodation.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. All right. Sunny asks, does this self-guided tours means joining with others cycling together or only within own group? So maybe we make a little bit of
Okay.
clarification here.
Sure. So, Sunny, we have, if we are talking about the experience self-guided with Travel Wonder, where we have a Travel Wonder trip facilitator coming along. For those trips, we also be cycling with other people that we gather from our end. Yeah. But if we are talking about any of the other self-guided trip, you're actually going on your own. So you can gather your own group of kakis, your own friends and all that, and then you'll be cycling within your own group. There is no need for you to join anybody else. So so that is the main difference that we have between both the experience self-guided with Travel Wonder and the purely self-guided tours that you like to go on.
The next questions come up is actually my very, very first question I asked when I embarked on my first self-guided cycling holidays. And
Yeah,
this
I
is now
remember
asked by
this one.
Evelyn.
Yes. And I remember the very good tip.
Yes, so for self-guided trip, if I encounter a flat tire, who can I turn to?
Okay, so this is a concern that I think a lot of us have because, if it's flat tire, most of us don't know how to change the flat tire. And if we were to call the SOS, we might take a long time for them to arrive as well. So one is, yes, you can call the emergency contact to see whether they can assist. Because if it's a flat tire, okay, so one of the tip given by the locals is, if you have a flat tire, you just look sweetly at the next person or whoever is cycling past and ask them, can you help me with this? And most of the time, the locals are more than happy to help you with your flat tire. Yeah, but if it's something else, like, a broken chain, things that cannot be fixed, that's where we call the emergency number. Then our partners will assist with maybe a bike replacement or with the next arrangement. Yeah.
Yes. So every cyclist who rent a bike with us on these self-guided trips, you will be given some basic tools to put it into your pannier bag that will be provided for you. So I still remember the first time when I was given all these tools, I still ask the operator, why do you give me all these tools? Anyway, I don't know how to change a tire. I don't know what to do with it. I said, it's okay. Just bring it along with you. Because if you ever encounter any problem, just raise your hand to any cyclist that comes along, and then they will be willing to help. And most of the time, all you need is to provide them the tools. Okay. That strikes me, and I have all the tools with me. But very fortunately, because the bikes are all very well maintained, so I don't encounter any technical difficulty throughout my ride, so I don't have to use any of all these tools. So another way is, worst come to the worst, is to call the SOS number, because during the entire cycling seasons, right? So usually the outdoor seasons in Europe happens from April to October. So during this season, all these operators will have their vehicles circling around the area. Okay, not only to help to look out for tourists, but also to do the luggage transfers, because you will be cycling without your luggage. Your luggage will be transferred daily from hotels to hotels on a daily basis. So that is why when you call any of the SOS numbers, and then they will analyze the situations, and if there's need be, they will radio any of the vehicle nearby to get to you as fast as they can. Of course, not immediately. There will be still some time lapse, but at least we would like you to know that in case of emergency, help is always around you. Like what Mabel says,
Yes, that's right.
You are not really alone per se. Okay. Here, Angeline says 3 SOS numbers and maybe YouTube. Yes, watch the YouTube and troubleshoot. Sunny has a suggestion here. Use run flat tire.
So use running when you have a flat tire.
Yeah. Okay. So that's about it. We have for today's questions and as well as comments.
Okay.
Right? Angeline commented about good tip with the tools. Yes. That is very true.
Indeed.
Right?
Yeah, very useful tip. Okay, so thank you for joining us. Maybe I'll just share next week what we'll be going through. Next week, we'll continue with our Great Outdoor Awaits. This time round is our hiking edition. So we'll be going through all the hikes that we have planned out for year 2022, as well as for year 2023, and also all the other self-guided hikes that you can embark on. All right. And with that, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. Thank you for all the questions as well, for engaging us. Anytime you have any questions, please feel free to drop us a WhatsApp. You can call us, you can drop us a message, you can email us as well. We are more than welcome to. Yes.
Yeah, don't forget to WhatsApp us to chop your discount vouchers.
Oh, yes. Just to recap again, the discount code with everybody. The code is cycling50. WhatsApp us your name, email, the trip name, the tour name, as well as the departure that you are looking at.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So with that, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. And then we will see you again next week. Good night.
See you. Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.